Mark Tatum, Deputy Commissioner and COO of the National Basketball Association.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Dr. Richard Lapchick, thanks for being with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Civil rights icon, Dr. Edwards, how are you today?
I'm doing a heck of a lot better than I deserve, I'll tell you that.
Sports commentator, Scoop Jackson.
Good to be back on with you all.
Ian Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
It's R&R on Sports.
R&R on Sports. R&R on R&R.
Hello and welcome to R&R on Sports. My name is Howard Robertson.
My name is just fantastic. Just most amazing, fantastic Larry Robertson it is, folks. And I am here with you today on this day that the Lord has made. Hallelujah. What's up?
Because you were messing up badly. Had to go somewhere and went straight to the Lord.
Well, you know, hey, now you know when you're messing up, you got to go to the Lord. You got to go to
Help
God.
me, Jesus. That's what you did. That's what
What's
you did.
going on, man?
Everything's good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm wonderful, brother. Wonderful. It's a beautiful weekend as always.
Oh, well, yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend, but most everywhere, weather's stupid.
Yeah.
Raining, really, really hot, really, really cool in places that normally aren't that hot or that cool.
Yeah.
Now, so if anybody thinks we ain't jacking up the environment, they are out of their minds.
Man, it's never been like this before in my lifetime, but you know, hey, my life, I'm not that old.
Sports-wise, have we talked about Osaka's exit from?
I don't think so. Let me get. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on it?
My thought is that the USTA, is it USTA with the French Open? Who is it? I mean, whoever.
Yeah.
Whatever tennis association, they're going to lose that. They're going to lose that because what she said to them is, I have a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And then you're going to hold to, well, no, you still got to talk to the media. You still got to do that. You still got to do what your contract.
She didn't do that till afterwards. She didn't explain till afterwards. After she had left.
After she said she wasn't going to do the interview?
After she didn't explain that until after she left.
Okay.
And I think what she should have done was shared with them.
Did they issue the threat before she explained?
Yeah. They you know, because basically one of the things you have, even with the NBA, in other sports leagues, is that we need you to promote the sport. Mm-hmm. We need you to be available to media. And as a part of those agreements, and a part of the reason they make the money that they make,
I understand.
I'm talking to our fans. I'm talking to our fans.
They
not just you.
Too.
Not just you.
Okay.
But anyway, so when that happens, and they said, hey man, we gotta get you to understand that the reason you're making this kind of money is because of the fan engagement. So that is part of that whole thing.
So let me slap you upside your head.
Right.
So you understand why you have to do. They're gonna lose that relative to that because you cannot encroach on somebody's health issues and particularly mental health issues.
Okay. Well, this is a new day.
The child. First
this
of all,
is
she's
a new
day.
This is a new day.
Secondly, she's fragile. She's the best tennis player in the world, but she is yet. You saw that in with the episode with the first thing with Serena.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still say this: that there is a responsibility that athletes have to talk to the media because it helps to carry the message of the sport. So I'm not just talking to you. So with that, I think that it's important that there's balance there. Now, true enough.
So what do they do?
I don't think the mental health conversation would have worked 5 years ago. I don't think it would have helped 10 years ago. I think there would have been a whole different response to it. But we're in a different age now, especially on the other side of COVID. So many people are understanding that mental health is so fragile that I think it's necessary. I think it's absolutely necessary. And I think the fact that she's out there as one of the proponents of saying, hey, take care of your mental health, I think is going to be good for everyone in the long run.
Well, here's something else that's necessary. If you guys wonder what R&R on Sports stands for, one meaning is relax and repeat. So if you want more R&R, subscribe and check out our archives at Kazukian.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to check out all your favorite Kazukian shows today.
I just want you to download the app, at the App Store, Google Play, download the Kazukian app, and you can listen to all of our episodes.
It's even on Acme apps.
7 years. 7 years of conversations with some of the most amazing athletes.
They don't want to hear 7 years of you.
Yeah, they do. Because they get to hear my singing.
No, they don't. No. We'll be back for more R&R on Sports. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to keep this crazy dude here. And we're going to try to put the jacket on him.
Let me hold you tight.
Back after this.
If only for one night.
Hey, this is Dr. J.
This is Shaq Adocious.
Yo, what's up? This is Ice Cube.
And you're listening to a little R&R. R&R on sports.
Keeping it real, right, and funky.
People who do the general civil rights movement would say it starts with Brown versus Du Bois, which is in the mid-50s, and you don't get the Civil Rights Act or the Voting Rights Act until 10 years later.
Funky politics on the Kazukian Network.
Thanks for calling the 3 Wishes hotline, where your wish is our command. Get 3 wishes for only $3,000. This is Gina speaking, and what are your wishes today?
Yo, what up? I need to get 3 wishes granted.
That's what I'm here for, man. Get 3 in the can for only $3,000.
I wish the Denver Broncos practice squad hadn't got paid before Super Bowl week. Because then, I wouldn't have that little situation I had and stuff. I wish that girl hadn't have been so damn fine. She had that Serena body. It was like, pow, pow. I wish I still got my Super Bowl ring, so I can show my boys and stuff back at the crib.
Oh, you no get no sue from Peyton. All right, I scratch out payday like it never happened. That girl is now skinny, ugly, with bad skin and breath, and you'll get a Super Bowl ring. Now, it might be from Super Bowl 5 instead of 50, but it beats nothing. That'll be 3Gs. Now, what's the name on your credit card?
I ain't got no credit card yet. But the name on my EBT card is Ryan, R. Murphy.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Thanks for calling the 3 Wishes hotline, where your wishes are command. Get 3 wishes for only $3,000. This is Ginny speaking, and what are your wishes today?
Shalom. I want my 3 wishes granted immediately.
Well, all right, mister. Have no fears. Your wishes are granted when your payment clears.
They better be. Number 1, I want the Cleveland Cavaliers. I wish they'd lose every game from now on.
Through the end of the season?
Hell no. Forever. Number 2, I wish that little scraggly hair on LeBron's head to fall out all over the floor. Even the implants. I want him to go through his life ball as a cue ball so everybody can see that lopsided head he's been trying to hide. And number 3, I wish all the players and everybody in the Cavs front office would immediately experience severe male member shrinkage.
Oh, my severe?
Damn right.
Oh, we talking small?
Tiny.
Like Pee-wee jockstrap?
Nah, like a Band-Aid.
All right, the Cavs is going 0 and forever. LeBron hair is out. Shrinkage is underway. That'll be 3Gs. Now, what's the name on your credit card?
It's D. Blatt.
Okay, Mr. B. Fat.
I said D. Blatt. D-B-L-A-T-T. You dumb.
Oh, all right, Mr. Blatt. I'm so sorry. Your payment has been processed. Wishes have been granted. And now I need you to do me one more thing.
What is it?
Unzip your pants and have a squint. But let me tell you this little hint. The next time you try to please her, you're going to need a magnifying glass and some tweezers.
Oh, God, where did it go?
Who's the bitch now, Blatt?
Riffin' on jazz.
But she was a sheriff's deputy.
Where?
In Detroit.
In Detroit. Oh, my God. You can't be no punk for that.
And ended up playing a flute.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kazukian Network. Kazukian!
Welcome back to R&R on Sports. Back. So, it is so much stuff happening. it is so much stuff happening and not all of it good. So
What do you mean? Come on, unpack that a little bit. Come on, give me some details or something.
Now, we were just talking about this thing called race norming.
Okay.
I cannot begin to get in. Well, I can. I got an opinion on it, but you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because I mean, we practice race norming here on R&R on Sports. And see, it happens when, you got one person who has achieved and been privileged in the sense that they went to a most amazing Catholic school and public school during their formative years. And then on top of that, they went to one of the best HBCUs at Kentucky State University. So in this seat, I handle all the tough questions and all that, but we skew it a little bit for Howard.
Does this person just happen to be white that you just got through talking about?
No. This is you. Me for the person that has been achieving and gotten.
Is that a white person?
No.
So what's your point?
No, I am racially more advanced and mentally more advanced than you. So what happens is you flip it, and we brought you along to understand that you got some cognitive deficits, and because of those cognitive deficits, we make you, we let you handle the easy questions, and then sometimes we even allow you to open up the shows because we want you to feel good about yourself.
So that's race norming.
Yeah, that's race.
That's it. No sense whatsoever do you have.
Man, you got to make a joke out of this craziness. So the NFL literally said that with the problems of CTE, we have to take into the account that the black players are literally dumber at the beginning. So therefore,
they are not mentally at the level of white players.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
That's like
if
the
they
wonder
got CTE or not.
Because they already got some
they
cognitive
already low
issues.
Performing. So we
just look at their Wonderlic scores. The Wonderlic scores, man. Shoot, Jameis Winston and all of them folks. Lamar Jackson. They can't. Their CTE is not the same as others.
White supremacist,
man.
racist.
Listen, as we go through this, we are uncovering all
plantation. What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Listen, you have to make jokes because it's true.
Don't put nothing like that on the page no more, please.
So now you're telling the producer how to produce?
I'm telling him don't put no crap like this on there ever again. So. We go from that to
we went to race norming to race craziness.
Race craziness, yeah,
race craziness.
Yeah.
So these NBA fans that find it necessary to throw popcorn, spit, cuss people out. I mean, throw water. I mean, all water bottles, all of this stuff to athletes. I'm trying to figure out. You know good and daggone well, if you walked up to this dude on the street, you would not be doing it.
Oh, no,
man.
No, absolutely not.
You would not
it would
even
be on.
Yeah.
I mean, ass whooping supreme.
Well, I mean, you look at Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is 6'4", you guys. 6'4" with literally not an ounce of fat on his body.
If Russell Westbrook was 4'4", and the shape of a tree trunk, an oak tree trunk, he would still whoop this dude's ass to no end. I don't care who it was. But look, here's what I want him to do. There are some people here's the reality. There are some people in this life that will not do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. They will only do the right thing because they are forced to, because there is a big A consequence if they do not.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
I want them to prosecute them to the fullest extent. I want them to lock that ass completely up. These are millionaires. Think about it. If not for where and to whom it happened, if it did in fact happen on the street, if it happened on the street to a Caucasian multimillionaire, what would happen?
Boy, you'd be so fond of jail.
They would sue the hell out of them. They would lock them up. And that's what should happen to these idiots.
I agree. You know, they've brought, you know, physical assault, criminal assault into hockey. I want to see why they can't do the same thing inside these arenas as it relates to these players.
Take them out, lock them up immediately.
They have to protect these players. These players are too vulnerable in these situations where they're in the midst of their job. You coming on their job and acting a fool. And I don't understand it. I just don't understand where people get off with that one. I mean, the situation with the Morant family really is alarming because, you know, you got a mama and family members.
They're watching
the game.
Their high achieving and performing son do his thing. And is it just me, or didn't I hear from somebody that parents and family in the stands were always off limit? I mean, I don't think I hadn't heard of somebody's family being abused at an away game.
Well, one thing I think that made a big difference was the fact that Utah's ownership, as well as Donovan Mitchell, as well as Dwayne Wade, and he is a part of ownership,
I heard that
made comments and made public comments about it. I think that this probably happens quite normally, especially when you have fans in the stands. Typically, you don't have your family in the stands. Typically, the family is in, you know, different booths, and then they also in areas
I've seen in Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, but they kind of keep them in the section, you know, with other family members and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they really hadn't had that. But I just don't understand the need for this behavior, and why would you want to cuss out this man's mom or insult this man's dad as if that's going to have an effect on the floor?
Absolutely.
You know, as my man Mike would say, just absolutely ludicrous. Just ludicrous.
We have a returning favorite and friend joining us in our interview segment. And should we say who it is?
No, but I got another question to ask you about these playoffs, though. Real quick. Now that we've seen LeBron is gone, few people gone,
out,
Jimmy Butler and Heat are gone. Who you got? Who you got? I need to know.
Well, in the East, the way they're playing, I mean, the Nets are Brooklyn's playing high caliber and quality ball.
I think Kevin Durant has an opportunity to assume the throne of the best player in the league.
In the West, I'm still very impressed with Utah.
Utah looks good.
Utah looks very good. I have never seen so many players on the same team shoot the three ball so well, so efficiently.
Man, them boys.
I have not seen that.
Hey.
I have not seen that.
Well, we gonna see it. We gonna see it. We gonna keep seeing. They keep doing their thing.
I think that would be a phenomenal final.
So
Brooklyn and Utah final.
That would be nice.
Nets Jazz.
Nice. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So listen, we have our good friend Robert Scoop Jackson on the other side.
Oh, you went on and told him. So.
Oh yeah, we got a good friend Robert Scoop Jackson on the other side.
Y'all
We're
know
gonna talk about
Scoop always got an opinion, 4 of them on one subject. So stick around. We'll be back for more R&R on Sports with Robert Scoop Jackson right after this.
Black Nerd Power.
I love games, board games, comics, beautiful things that portray black girls as soft and whimsical and cotton candy flowers. And so that is what I bring to the show, as well as cuss words for these raggedy when they need them.
Oh my goodness.
Such as this raggedy that we getting ready to introduce you to right now.
Oh my
This red
goodness.
fox looking, this bald head, confident talking talking about Richard Douglas Jones.
My goodness, this is the worst intro I've ever had in my life, ladies and gentlemen. Black Nerd Power on the Kadzukian Network.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports. Yes. And we are thrilled to introduce reintroduce, as they say in church, introduce to some and present to others.
There you go.
They say that at your church. World-renowned ESPN journalist, Brother Scoop Jackson.
Did you forget his name?
No.
Oh, I was just. So it was a pause.
No,
it was a pause for.
I was in between calling him by
Robert,
his given name,
like Robert.
Yes. Right. But I didn't. I decided not to do it. Scoop, what's happening, man? Welcome back to R&R.
What up? Cool. Or as Jay-Z says in church, allow me to reintroduce myself. So,
there you go. But see, he don't know nothing about no Jay-Z, man. That's a little bit before his time.
Who, Jay-Z?
Yeah, a little bit after your time.
Okay,
a little bit way after your time.
Yeah. That's the dude that's married to
Bianca.
Scoop, how you doing, man? What's going on? Bring us up to date.
Oh, he got on the Brooklyn Nets jersey. What's up with that?
He representing.
What's up with that? Are you letting everybody know that this is who you riding with, or what's going on?
No. Well, one, I mean, is as much about the Nets as it is about the Basquiat design on on the jersey. But
That's
you gotta understand, my son lives in Brooklyn, so. He's been in Brooklyn now for 3 years since he graduated from college. So,
okay.
We can, I still rep BK, so it's all good.
Well, he could have moved to Harlem because I still got my place in Harlem. He could have had an apartment.
Yeah,
the whole night.
Yeah.
See, we should have talked.
No. That was a thought. We tried to do that, but he still he and his crew, his roommates from undergrad, they all graduated together and they got a spot together all together. So it's still 4 of them living together.
That's good.
That's beautiful.
They found a nice little spot. This is their second spot in Brooklyn. So, like I said, they've been in Brooklyn for 3 years. So
they create memories, bro. They are creating memories. They are creating memories.
He didn't want to be in Larry's place, man. Larry went up there after about 2 years, hadn't been in there, and the rat came up, say, "What's up, man?" Who are you? Who are you?
That's really not too far from a lie.
Why are you in my neighborhood?
Listen, man, I finally got to go to my apartment in New York, bro, and the chips were sitting on the counter, just like I left
the chips there 2 years ago.
Yes,
that's nasty.
And literally, dude.
That's nasty,
so I took them out. And I mean, they crumbled like wood. It was like wood. I mean, it's splintered. I mean, man, seriously, we need to be talking to the folks over at Lay's. Because they did some, they got some crazy stuff going on. But listen, man, we here talking about, we got Scoop, and we talking about this craziness. Scoop, life after the bubble, man. What's your assessment of the NBA now that we're almost at the end of the first year outside the bubble?
That's a good question. I think kind of expected them. They got through the season with minor hiccups.
With a high propensity, we had a high propensity for injuries. Now the reports are coming out that.
But I think that was expected with a 71-day break in the season for those who lasted to the end of the bubble.
Right.
On this quick turnaround. But once again, this still is a business of give and take. Right. And with the owners losing so much money as they did in the bubble. Mm-hmm. But from a marketing and from a brand standpoint, how important it was for them to finish the season, not from the owners, from the players, doing something that the owners weren't making any money off of.
Right.
They gave that, and when it came back around, like, oh, okay, we got to start the season before Christmas for the owners, in their minds, to recoup some of the money that they lost. So that goes with the give and take. And when you go with that type of give and take, and it's a business bottom line, there's always, collateral damage when it comes to, trying to meet that bottom line. And
hold on for a quick second. But when you think about the TNT situation, because what I was told was that, number one, they would have to go back into a collective bargaining agreement, or they could open up collective bargaining agreement if they hadn't started before December 31st. Secondly,
it was also like that. There was like 100. There was some crazy amount of money also.
Oh, really?
There was. I forgot how much money it was, and I don't want to say it and be wrong, but there was a substantial amount of just money that the owners would initially lose outside of the collective bargaining situation if they didn't start on that day. And the owners are trying to recoup that money, at least to get back.
Wow.
So,
well, listen,
and once again, The Players Association still signed off on this.
Right.
Yeah.
They sure did.
You know,
They totally
and-
ignored
yeah.
LeBron and everybody else who was speaking against it.
You're listening
Well,
to R&R
here's the
on
deal.
Sports
It's
on
like
the Kazuki
LeBron,
Network.
but as powerful as LeBron is, his vote, it may carry more than just one individual. But when you have a league of 450 players or whatever,
Right.
I forgot how many players there happen to be, but you can't, he can't run it like that.
Right.
Not
right.
even Mike could run it like that. So if LeBron and whoever else, if the top 5 players in the league were against it, and the other 425 were for it, they have it set up that all right, y'all gonna have to deal with this. You're playing during the season, but y'all gonna have to deal with this.
Talk a little bit about speaking of the brand. What kind of collateral damage, if any, has the NBA brand suffered as a result of COVID-19, reduced season, craziness, and all of that?
I don't think much. I think just from the injury standpoint, I think continually to see players get injured. And major players get injured and not play a role in what happens during the regular season. I think so far, I think they're taking a hit now, and I definitely think it happened. They took a hit during the regular season where there were games because of the way they restructured the schedule, because it reduced it to 72 games,
Right.
where you saw teams that were slated for television to have big audiences, and there was that swell of interest because you wanted to see them play, and all of a sudden the game comes on and he's not playing, and he's not playing. So the game, the importance of those games in the regular season just diminished, and that continued to happen throughout the season.
Right.
So I think that was a brand hit for them, and that could be a direct result of how they rushed this season over, after the bubble to get this thing going for, whatever reason, to get as close to the regular schedule as it had been, even though the season before that went late, and for the money in the collective bargaining agreement we're talking about right now that the owners, had to deal with being pressed up against a deadline to get this season started. But I don't want to throw it. I don't want to throw it all on this, because we'd be naive to sit up here and think that the injuries that are happening now didn't happen prior to the bubble. The NBA over the last 5 or 6 years has been, I don't want to say decimated, but has been impacted.
Right. Right.
Pretty heavily.
Drastically.
Well, I put it, every championship over the last probably 6, 7 years, injuries have played a role in that champion. In the championship.
Well, speaking of that,
somebody's injury played a role. So I don't want to paint this picture that all of a sudden players are getting injured because of the, as fast as they came back trying to recover from the bubble.
Right.
You may have a little bit more, but the injury thing in the NBA has been something that's been going on for half a generation now. So I just want to clear that up.
Well, I think it's awfully interesting that the 2 teams that were there at the end in the bubble were the first teams out in the first round. I think there's more than a coincidence there that Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers are the ones that were the first ones out. In addition to that, they had major injuries outside of Brooklyn. Brooklyn's been just totally, they've never had the big 3 together at all. But when you look at LeBron, who was out for a major part of Anthony Davis, he's still hurt. I mean, you look at Jimmy Butler, literally you can go down the line, and these guys were really having some problems, staying healthy. And I just have to believe it's due to that short window. And then I think the fact that I don't think the players were expecting to come back so early. So that's why I think you had so many players out of shape.
Right.
Would you?
No, I agree with you, but I don't want to give them the out in saying that that's the reason they didn't perform up to their regular standards. I do think that there was something in the bubble that benefited both teams. I think the camaraderie and never having to go on the road and getting to know one another and us against the world situation really lent itself to helping Miami get to the finals last year. Okay. As of what were they, 5th seed or something?
It wasn't Jimmy Butler's coffee? It wasn't his coffee.
Yeah, well, no,
coffee
not at
business?
$20 a pop. No, hell no. You know, but I do think that whole bubble situation benefited them more than it did any other team, and it lent itself to that entire team, especially with their first time being together, listening to everything Jimmy Butler told them. You know, where it may have been the coffee that built around them, but it was his words and his energy and them believing in him, because a lot of them hadn't been there before, not even Dragic. And so Jimmy became their man, and they rallied around him, and they didn't have too many outside sources to deal with as far as travel, as far as other fan bases. They were able to hunker in and do something that benefited them because they were in the bubble. Now, in the Lakers standpoint, and I'm giving you a reason why I think injuries are not the only thing that hurt both of these teams from being out so soon. And the Lakers, they didn't have that Kobe initiative that they carried with them throughout the playoffs last year. Kobe was like an extra player with them because they played last year in the spirit of Kobe. Because of his death, they wanted to finish the season for him. You heard players saying, we're going to win this ring for Kobe. They were coming out in the Black Mamba Kobe jerseys. Yeah. All that Kobe connection the Lakers had last year. They didn't have any of that this year.
Well, so Devin Booker did. Devin Booker had a Kobe connection.
But here's my point. Devin didn't have that last year. He didn't have to carry it all season. That was an initiative the Lakers carried with them. So I'm giving you two reasons outside of injuries that these teams did not have with them this year.
Right.
As to also why they may not have, may not be continuing in the playoffs, and why they were both ousted in the first round. Not just injuries.
Well, hold it right there, Scoop. Hold it, Scoop. We got to go to break. Listen. Okay. This is On Sports. We're with the great Scoop Jackson of ESPN, and we're gonna be right back after we pay a couple bills, and we're gonna see if we can change up Howard's outfit a little bit because it's kind of messing with Scoop's vertigo.
I have the same. So when y'all come back after this.
R&R on Sports.
I was trying out with the Portland Trail Blazers. Thought I made the team. 2:00 in the morning, I get a phone call in my hotel, so I know that's not good.
Not at 2:00 in the morning, man.
And, he was cool about it. I mean, obviously they liked me and wanted to keep me, but tell me what flight I'm on so I can get back home.
Good. I can get out of here.
So I can get out of here.
It's R&R on Sports.
Welcome back for more R&R on Sports with Brother Robert Scoop Jackson.
Man, you get that man's whole government name. You don't know who he might be running from.
Sorry, it's too late now. He's been out there. He's exposed. If anybody looking for him, they know straight. They can go find him.
Listen, man. Don't be giving the brother's whole name. His whole government name, man. You gonna give his Social Security now?
Last four digits. Only. So I was asking if you knew how the ratings were doing this year. Television ratings were doing this year, and you were saying they're not bad, huh?
Well, at least for the playoffs. Okay. The reports I've been getting is that the playoff numbers are really, really up. I mean, great from last year, but even up from 2 years ago.
Good. That's really the comparison 2 years ago.
Huh?
That's really the comparison from 19.
Right, because last year kind of doesn't really. All sports took a hit. I think so far in the playoffs, the numbers have been up. I think once again, my numbers could be wrong. I think so far this time from last year's playoffs in the first round, I think last year they're 26% up from last year, but 3 to 4% up from 2 years ago.
Okay.
So We'll see what happens now that LeBron's not in it, because it's very interesting to see. You talk about the numbers really count from 2 years ago. LeBron wasn't even in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
People forget that. That's why I was tripping on like this big deal about LeBron being knocked out the first round. I'm like, well, hell, he wasn't even in it 2 years ago. So what's the big deal?
Right.
But let's see how the numbers transpire without him being in it. Really, we need to go back to 3 years ago and see what the numbers look like from there, because we know as popular as LeBron is, he does tilt the scale a little bit as far as, television viewership goes. So without him being in the first round, let's see what happens, from here on out.
Yeah.
This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with Robert Scoop Jackson of ESPN. Scoop, when I think about this year, it really feels like there is some sort of changing of the guards. When I think about the fact that you got LeBron, AD, all the older guys seemingly going out, now you got these new names. You know, you have the Trey Youngs, you have the Devin Bookers, you have, Donovan Mitchell, who are really starting to Luka, Luka, trying to really take a big step forward and championing their teams. Do you see that?
Ja Morant.
Yeah, Ja Morant. I mean, it's these guys are really stepping up. Do you see there is maybe a changing of the guard with, LeBron, although Father Time has had a slower impact on LeBron than most, but it seems like it's still starting to happen. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do see a little bit of shift, and I don't want to not mention, Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson.
Right.
Young guys,
Yes.
But here's the thing that's interesting to me. I do see the shift, but I love the fact that one, with LeBron shifting, there's still two players, at least two, in the conversation that are the cream that the younger players still have to deal with, even in LeBron.
Give me those two that you at least see. Give me those two.
Oh, it's Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
Oh well, shoot! I'm gonna go Kawhi. I'm gonna go Kawhi.
Right.
You gotta throw Kawhi in there.
You know what? No disrespect.
You don't think so?
He said,
nah.
But I don't think.
I can't see why. How can you not put Kawhi in that?
No, because I think over the last couple of seasons, Kawhi has not, during the regular season, elevated himself to be that league carrying guy that, others have to deal with as far as being the face of the league. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players of the league, but I don't know if we can look at it as being the face of the league.
No.
So when we're talking about these young players, and you kept mentioning LeBron, LeBron is not only one of the best players of the league, he's the face of the league.
Right.
And once LeBron, like I said, starts, just like age, like I said, Father Time, whatever it is, 18 seasons in, once he's no longer the quote-unquote face of the league, before we start knowing these young cats, before they totally take over, there's still two guys who are the face of the league in my mind.
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
Kawhi,
and it's persona. It's persona too. Kawhi is what I call a quiet storm. Okay, and that's how he shows up, and he does his thing and whatnot, but quietly. There's nothing overt about him and all of that
until he dunks on you.
Like Mike
but here's
Tyson
the deal,
said,
Kawhi, because of that, the unfortunate thing is that to stay super relevant.
Yeah.
And let me throw Dame Lillard in this conversation as well.
Oh yes, please do.
Right. But for Kawhi to stay super relevant, it's almost like he has to win championships because he's so quiet.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. What else do you have?
Before we go. Huh?
What else do you have? I mean, people are not going to be just quoting your stats. Typically, I mean, you got to show up and show out, to your point.
Yeah.
So, or be loud or something, have attitude.
No, you can do both. But you got to understand, there's a magnet attached to Steph Curry. There's a magnet attached to Kevin Durant. There's a magnet attached to Dame Lillard. Now, Kawhi is in the conversation with them, so when LeBron leaves, they'll still be holding down the league. The problem is that unless Kawhi is playing basketball in June on a team that's winning for chips, the light and the magnet on Dame, Steph, and Kevin Durant kind of pushes him,
always
almost
gonna be
to
brighter.
Damn, we got to remind
always
ourselves.
Gonna be brighter.
Right, always going to be brighter. Let me say this before we step on the next conversation. The one thing I also love about the young players that you all just mentioned is that we won't be having this singular conversation, I don't think,
about
moving forward about who is the top dog food chain.
Yes, you are so right.
I don't think one will be that much greater. There won't be a LeBron and then KD, Steph, Dame, Kawhi. There won't be that separation.
Right.
Luka, Trey, Ja, Jay Tatum, Zion.
Right.
They're all right there. Devin Booker,
Yeah.
I think they're all going to, it's going to be spread across the board. It
I
really
agree.
is. And that's going to be unique. The NBA has not seen that in a long time.
Right.
Speaking of a long time, what do you mentioned Jason Tatum. What happened in Boston? Did Danny Ainge just fall asleep at the wheel?
And make it short, because I got something that I want you to talk about. So go on, quickly answer this, please.
No, I think they just, I don't think he fell asleep at the wheel. I thought they kept going with things and thinking they were going to work out. And it's great to be able to put a team together, but once you get it together, how do you handle it when everything is not perfect?
Right.
And I think he found out that Brad Stevens was a coach that often worked with less is better.
Yeah.
Because when he had more talent, it was hard for him to get it all together.
Right.
And once it started diminishing, he was starting to able to do a little bit more with it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think he got overwhelmed by the pressure to continue to get this team to play at a certain level. And they needed a new voice.
So how do you help me understand the Danny Ainge stepping down, and then you have Brad Stevens stepping up to president?
That's a soft firing.
Oh,
it's a soft firing. I mean, that's what businesses are supposed to do. When you have somebody, look, let's be honest with this. When Danny Ainge came over there and he kind of built this thing together, and then what he originally built left, people forget there was a hole in the resume of the Boston Celtics that we see right now before they got Jay Brown, before they got Tatum, before Kyrie went there, even before they got Gordon Hayward, where Brad Stevens, once he got him for a couple of seasons, was the face of that franchise.
Yeah.
They went out and got the perfect white coach for that audience to rally behind and love, because he was smart, he was young, he fit that Boston dynamic. That was their guy.
Right.
So now after that, they went out and kind of built it around there. For them to be smart about what they're doing, that's why I love what they did with Brad Stevens. They were like, no, you're still a part of the identity of this franchise. You're more than just a coach. Because before we got Jason Tatum, before, Gordon Hayward came here, before we had the whatever craziness you want to call it with, Kyrie coming there, before Jaylen Brown got here, before Marcus Smart was here, before we built a team we put on the court, you were our identity. So we don't want to lose you, because people still connect with this team.
Right.
Through you. So our fan base still connects with this team through you. So no, we're not going to lose you. We just think that, we need a new voice to coach these players up.
Okay.
That's all. So
what we're
going to do is a soft firing, move you in the front office, and let somebody else be the voice.
I got to get your take on this. These knucklehead fans that feel empowered to spit on people, throw water bottles, and all of that. What are we seeing, in your opinion?
The same thing we're seeing in all society. We're seeing, teachers lose their minds in classrooms, kids lose their mind in classrooms. People on the streets, just now that they have a sense of freedom, they don't know what to do. Hell, let's go to airports. You're seeing flight attendants getting beat
true.
down. People fighting in the airport.
This is true.
This is what happens when you are living in a country and have an understanding the privilege of being free. And you go through 15 months of not being free. This is sometimes a direct result of what happens initially when you find freedom. You lose your damn mind for a second. So the NBA fans and fans are no different than anybody else we see walking around in society. It's just an extension of that. And you know what? The closer we get to normalcy, the further we get away from the situation that was the last 15 months of our lives, the less you'll see with this. We'll have other issues.
Do you see it as more racial in the NBA? Racially driven?
Well, it's racially driven based on the proximity. Let's deal with the economics.
Farther away, and you can't.
Well, I think it's interesting that the guy that threw the stuff on was it Russell Westbrook. he had on a he had on a what is it, a Kevin Durant? No, Kevin Garnett jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So what took place in Boston? He had on a Kevin Garnett jersey.
Okay.
So from a racial standpoint, I'm saying that can the fact that you got on a black man's jersey, I don't think it necessarily applied in that situation.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
go ahead, Alan. I'm sorry.
John Morant. His mama got called a bunch of bad names, and somebody said in the to his daddy, put a nickel in your back, and whine or something like that. I mean, in Utah.
No, and that's what I was about to say. I think if we start lumping race together in all of these, we will, eventually we'll end up there, because I do think, race probably has a role in all of this. It's just a matter of the percentage of it.
Yeah.
I look at it through the lens of economics, especially when you remove John Morant's situation, because it was directed at his parents.
Yeah.
And I've been in stadiums to understand that, just that alone is always going to be a problem. But my thing was the economics behind it is that, in order to spit on somebody, in order to throw something at, a water bottle at somebody, in order to dump popcorn on somebody, you have to be able to pay for those seats that are that close to the players.
Right.
Black folks, we ain't got that type of front row money coming out of COVID. So my point is that we look at the lens of economics. Economics played a role in it, because the people that can afford to be that close to players are 9.5 times out of 10 white people.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So, we can look at it through race, but it's race connected to economics, because they're the ones that can afford to be that close.
Yeah. Yeah. Scoop, we always appreciate having you.
Going back to what I was saying, you can read into what I was saying about people in this country who have never not be free.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And being locked up and being not free for the first time ever for 15 months. This is the come out of it. So you can read into that what you want to as far as race is concerned. But I do know that we, as black people in this country, we have a clearer, much clearer understanding of what it's like to not be free.
Right. Right.
That is very, very true.
Folks in Texas said when they finally got there 2 years later, we free?
For real?
We still asking the same question.
That's a Juneteenth reference.
Scoop, that's a Juneteenth message.
Oh yeah, yes. always.
Scoop, we appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
And got to have you back on sooner rather than later. Larry gets remiss, but appreciate you. Thank you very, very much, and we'll be back in touch. And
appreciate y'all too, always. You know that.
All right, thank you. We'll be back for more R&R on Sports right after this.
3.
Entering into 40, I still had the same 30 and below confidence.
B.
In a bar, in your own home.
C.
You just feel unseen. And it's like, wait, what happened? Like 2 days ago, I was the
3BC. 3 Black Chicks on the Kadzukian Network.
Kadzukian!
Welcome back to R&R on Sports. So, who you got? You got somebody special to shout
man.
out.
Listen. So, give you a little story. I was at Kentucky State University, and young guy pledged. So I had to go away to come back. I came back to Kentucky State after being away for about a semester, and I needed to take only a couple classes, so it wasn't enough to get student aid and all that to get dorm room.
Mm-hmm.
Had a young Noop to talk about the fraternity. Noop, young Noop.
What's that stand for?
It's Kappa Alpha Psi, brother.
Okay.
Kappa Alpha Psi, Phi Nu Pi.
You don't
So
assume.
yeah, I understand that. So he said, nah, man, Noop, I owe you. Come stay with me. So my last semester in college, I stayed with this brother named Sid D. Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Sid passed away this week.
Is that right?
Younger brother, out of Chicago. And I know I had made many comments on Facebook and whatnot, but I gave that brother my jacket, my pledge jacket.
Oh, wow.
So he meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I hate to see him gone, man. And Sid, rest in power, my brother. love you, miss you, know I'm gonna miss you, and damn.
So my shout out goes out to the one, the only, the greatest of all time. Her name is Simone Biles. Once again, one of the greatest athletes in the world, the world has ever seen, and certainly the greatest gymnast of all time. So, I can't tell you all that she did over the weekend, but she won the overall championship again, more than any other person has ever won it in the history of gymnastics. And she is old. Here's the thing. She is old by typical gymnastics standards.
Yeah.
But she is still doing stuff that nobody has ever done.
She's won like the last 8 U.S. meets, U.S. championships.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And wherever they have the Olympics, if they have the Olympics and whatnot, ain't nobody else got a crying chance.
Man, she's doing things that ain't never been done.
That's what I'm talking about.
The gymnastics
That's
floor.
what I'm talking about.
So shout out to Simone Biles. Shout out to Sid Lewis, straight from Chicago, Kentucky State University in the house.
Take us out.
We
say goodbye.
We love you, everybody. We love you. And please download the app at the App Store or Google Play. If not, go to your favorite podcast provider and check out R&R along with the other Kazukian products.
R&R on sports.
Absolutely, brother. Peace.
You've been listening to a little R&R on sports, written and produced by Howard Robertson, Larry Robinson, recorded and mixed in Memphis, Tennessee.